All right, thanks for joining us on our ongoing interview series, which we've called The Orbit. Today I'm interviewing mis0happy, also known as Nina, who is an illustrator, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Or how would you describe what you do?
I guess, yeah, illustrator and like graphic designer, but mostly illustrator.
Okay.
Well, now it's illustrator.
And I know when I describe to people what you do, it's like a lot of cute corgis and Pikachus.
Buff
How-
Pikachus,
yeah.
long corgis.
How would you describe your art style?
I guess very, cute or
Cute.
like whimsical. I like making like cute, like weird things, like dot eyes and like derpy illustrations. I don't know.
Derpy is good. Just tell me a little about like where you're from and how you got into this.
So I originally was from Portland, and I went to high school and like all other schooling there, and then I came up to Seattle in 2007 for college, and then I went to art school for like 4 years, and then after that it's like, oh, now it's, or I studied graphic design.
Okay.
And then after that it's like, oh, gotta go into the world of like finding a job and blah blah blah, and it was like super hard because it was right when like the recession was like going like full steam.
Yeah.
Like,
what a time to look for a job.
yeah. And so like, I started, well, after like a year of like trying to find one, I went into t-shirt design.
Okay.
With this company called Evie, and we did a like Hello Kitty shirt and blah blah blah. But even like throughout like college, I would like draw on the side and stuff. And like I had like Tumblr, and like that was like my outlet to like draw and stuff. And even with like this job I had, it was like, oh, you're drawing like Hello Kitty, like cute stuff for like kids, and it's like, oh, that's great. It's like what I want to do. And
So
yeah.
so you're working at this t-shirt place
Yeah.
and designing art for t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
and also doing Tumblr.
Yeah, Tumblr.
And then how long were you doing that for before you transitioned to the next thing?
I think it was like a year, because it was like, oh, layoffs.
A year ago.
Oh no, this was
No.
2008.
Okay.
Yeah. And so from there it's just like, oh, then I went to a different like t-shirt design company, and then from there I was like, then I started working at Amazon and was like doing like,
Okay.
like full just like graphic design, but they also had me doing illustration and stuff, mostly for little like landing pages, like, oh, you nail an icon or something, and then they're like, oh, you're pretty good at illustrating. I was like, oh, why don't you like help do like style guides and stuff? And that's when I learned more about like, well, learned branding in school and stuff,
Right.
but like more into like real world, like, oh, how you can like utilize.
This application.
Yeah.
So you got hired by Amazon, you started doing like landing page stuff, but then
Yeah.
they noticed that you were good at illustration.
Yeah, I was like,
and
oh,
so
great, yeah.
it kind of expanded from there. Nice. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
And then from there, it's like, oh, like pick little pieces of like knowledge from like Amazon and like past like jobs and stuff. And then I went to a different company where I was also like doing mostly illustration and stuff. And then that company was more like social media, and that's when I
Okay.
like went more towards like, I had an Instagram. I was like, just post some pictures.
Uh-huh.
Oh, here's my dog. Here's some food.
That's what I do.
Yeah. I think that's when it started to like, it's like, oh, from here to here to here to here, like kind of like help like create this like little like, oh, pathway towards like what I want to do. Yeah. And I started my shop when I was in Amazon, because I was like, oh, people like these drawings. I'm like, oh, I might as well like start small with like stickers and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And then I think just from there it's just like, oh,
Straight shot.
yeah.
Because I'm looking at your Instagram now, 1% Illustrator, 99% potato, and just a lot of cute illustrations, and you make enamel pins, it looks like,
Yeah.
t-shirts. What would you say is the best seller in your
Stickers.
stickers?
Probably because they're like small and like
Accessible,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, oh, you can get like a bag of them, or you just get one, and yeah.
When you're selling your products, so you're designing them,
Yeah.
and who's producing them?
Producing. So I used to print them all at home and then like cut them out, and then like
Yeah.
I had like little like rounded corners. I would go around and like punch each corner, and after
Yeah.
like a month or like a year, I was just like, my arms, my hands hurt. And so now I just go through like third party, like a sticker vendor and like a factory to like do the enamel pins.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And as far as sales, I see you're doing like conventions and also online stores.
Yeah.
What do you think is your main source of income?
I think the most steady right now is like my shop, but I mean the most rewarding is conventions.
Okay.
Mostly, I think it's because you also get like face-to-face interaction with like customers, and they're also all right there in like one little like convention center, and they'll just like come by.
Tell me more about these conventions, because Angela was telling me a bit about them, and they seem very exciting.
Yeah, I didn't start. So I had my shop from, let's say like 2013. No, maybe not 2013. I don't know. Like 2015 through to now, or maybe a little longer. Okay, I don't know. I don't know when I started.
Roughly.
So before, I didn't start vending at conventions until 2016. So that was 2 years ago. And it started off at this like Sailor Moon Day event. It was small at this community center. I was like, I don't know how to vend, and like people had like these setups and stuff, you know, like pipes or like grid walls.
Yeah, they
and
built
stuff.
little booths.
Yeah, and we're like, me and my friend were vending there. We're like,
we have a table.
Yeah, like, oh, here's a table, and we like made this like sandwich board to like put little pegs, but realized later I was like, this is really heavy. I was like, I don't know. So that was like the first step in, and I was like, this is actually really fun. And I was like, oh, there's people that like the same things you do. It's like, oh, well, it's all like Sailor Moon. I was like, oh, I love Sailor Moon. It's like nice, like.
How did you get into
friends.
that?
How did I? Oh, they wanted me to do the illustration for their event or something. Oh,
they reached out to you?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I think they found me on Tumblr or Instagram. I'm not sure.
What was your Tumblr following like?
I think it was pretty similar to now. It was like, so I started off just like, with just like school friends like following me, and then like another school friend had like this like comic for like Pokemon and stuff, and I think he like reblogged me, and then I also became friends with like another illustrator, and then it's just like that whole like reblog, and then it's like, oh hey, friends.
How many followers did you get at like?
I don't remember, but I think at the time I was like 14K, I think. Yeah. But I think it started off with like, oh yay, I made 100. And then I was like, oh what? Like 1,000, that was cool.
When did you know that you could do this full time? And what were the signs?
I think mostly, so I had my shop and stuff, and I think at Amazon it was easier to like, well, actually work-life balance was a little hard, you know, but at the same time, I also had like freelance work on the side, and then I was like, man, it's nice to like, I didn't really have time to like draw for myself. I was always doing something for someone else, and then once I got to my other job, it like fully was like, I'm not doing any artwork anymore, and it like
I'm only doing things for people, and it's not fun.
Yeah. It's pretty much that like exhaustion, and it's like I feel like I'm like right here, but there's like this much more that I can do, but I'm always like stuck here, where I'm like, I think it's time to like take that risk to like go full time, even if it's just like, oh, money drop.
So it was almost an experiment in just doing more of the stuff that you liked to do instead.
Yeah, and I could see like people are like, oh, I want to buy this, and like, oh, I was like, there's a demand there for like, we want to buy your things, but like, I'd only be making like
stickers one by one.
The same things like all the time. It's like, I haven't made like new art in a while.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Stickers, probably because they're like really easy, and I like stickers. And when I'm at the conventions, like I'm buying stickers and like stuff like that. Or like t-shirts.
When you're drawing all this cute stuff, is there like, I'm sure it like makes you happy, but what draws you to cute things in particular?
I think maybe because I watch too much anime.
Yeah, I mean that's valid.
It's like growing up just like watching cartoons and like stuff like that, and it's like that's what like draws me in. It's like, oh, cute animals, oh, cute everything. It's just like, oh, I guess if you like surround yourself in things that are like that make you happy, then you're like, oh,
I want to continue doing that. I also noticed just through following you that your Instagram stories are so good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like really cohesive and they follow almost a narrative every time.
Oh, thanks.
I think there was one that I watched about a table that was in your building that was abandoned in the staircase. It's continuously good. Like,
Thanks.
how? Can you tell me more about like your Instagram stories?
Yeah.
They're better than most.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people also tell me that. They're like, oh, your Instagram stories are really fun to follow. I'm like, really? I feel like it's just like, I'm just posting random stuff. It's like, oh, that's cool. But I think it's mostly like, I don't really like, not sugarcoating, but it's like, I was like, oh, this is just my life. Like, oh, here. It's like,
Yeah.
I guess maybe because it's like very authentic. It's just like, I like
Right,
zooming
not
in.
even thinking too hard about it is probably the best way. Yeah. That's amazing, and you make it seem so easy.
Oh, thanks.
Because I know personally, like, if I'm trying to do stories or think about how my Instagram looks, I'm just like, I want it to have, like, this authentic grunge aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which I think is my excuse for being lazy with it.
No, that's fine. It's like everyone else can, anyone can have like their own like, oh, I want this look, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I find I zoom a lot in like stories, and people are like, what's she gonna zoom in on next? And I was like, I don't know.
What is your relationship with your fans like?
Well, a lot of them are like similar to like people that you meet at conventions and stuff. It's like you all like the same things. Like they're either really like Japanese cartoons or like cartoons in general, or like they're also artists as well. And I guess there's like a similar like interest.
It's a sphere.
Yeah.
You found your people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really cool that they kind of are drawn to you anyway.
Yeah. I was like, I'm still surprised. I was like, oh, cool. I'm
doing what I like to do. See, that's awesome, because I think what's hard for some people is that they're trying to like get into their spheres or maybe run a business through Instagram like you are, and I think they're just trying to find their people.
Yeah.
And what do you think was the hardest part to launch your business, or was it pretty easy to just get that following?
I think it was, I wouldn't say it's maybe I don't really like seek out like, I want to make like 200 followers this month or like whatever. I think it's just like, how do I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it just happens. It's like natural. It's like, oh,
so it wasn't particularly hard?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I guess I'm pretty lucky in that sense. But it's also like, it's like, I don't know. I guess it...
Cool. I mean, good for you. It's good not to overthink it, and sometimes I think that's the best way.
Yeah, because like you don't want to like stress yourself over like, why did I lose 20 followers, or like, oh, or I don't know.
Right.
It's like you don't want that ego. It's like you just want to stay like,
just
like,
make good art, sell your thing.
What I make and like what I do. It's like you don't want to like be fake or anything like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like you're buying them.
Right. Yeah. It's authenticity is so important.
Yeah.
And followers can totally tell.
Yeah.
When you're being authentic.
Like after a while, they're like,
Yeah, this seems fake.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier before we were rolling, but art theft is something that you deal with. It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about like how you experience it or how you stop it?
I think so. It started off like Tumblr. It's like so easy to like grab someone's image and like you don't know like you can see like when people reblog,
save
then
it,
the
and
person
then
like repost it.
That's bad karma from what I heard.
I think it's tough because like you're such a like small artist compared to like oh the corporate world like blah 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 blah, and it's like you don't have like a lot of like funds to like go after people legally. I think the nice thing about like registering your copyright is that you have like that like basis, like, oh, this is like a physical like I copyrighted this like blah blah blah, but then after that it's like hard to like legally like
pursue people.
Like, blah blah blah, because some people know that and they take advantage of artists, and that sucks.
Because people sell your products with your art on it.
Yeah, it's easy. So there's some like platforms that make it easier for artists to like report, but then there's other ones like say Alibaba that you have to like go through like all these like forms and stuff, and then it's
Yeah.
like it's so hard because they're like, oh, we sell everything like 1 cent, blah blah blah, and then people are like, not knowing like it's stolen,
Right.
Because like they just
So
buy
it's
things.
almost hard to keep up, is what it
Yeah.
sounds like. And you're like, you know what happens.
Yeah.
And on your Instagram, you have like, here's all the art that's
Like,
been
oh,
stolen from me.
Yeah.
And I think, like, me as a consumer,
Mm.
like, I'm always looking for the original creator,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have loyalty to them, always. And I think probably, I would imagine that the consumers of the other products don't even know you,
Yeah.
which I think is maybe the difference.
like sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's also like it's good to like spread that awareness, like, oh, this is my art, and like
Yeah.
hopefully you can spread the word too.
Right.
But yeah, it is hard like legally trying to like go after people. Even my teacher from school, I think she had her stuff stolen from like Disney, and they did their best to like run her dry of her money, and
Right.
like I think at the end they settled after a few years, but it's like she was
Hold on,
already-
so Disney.
like took her like a dog design or something, and they put on a t-shirt, and it was like very like
Oh.
90 to 99% like very like
Clearly
similar.
hers.
Yeah, and they're like, it's like, oh, it wasn't us, it was our designer, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's difficult because I know that I think Cory Doctorow describes the internet as a copying machine, and that if you're an artist, you got to make things knowing that things can be copied and distributed very easily.
Yeah.
So do you think? I guess you've adopted this approach of just kind of doing what you can, but you can't go after everyone.
Yeah.
And just kind of stepping back.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, hopefully other people can help report it for you too. But yeah, I don't know. I can like email them and like,
Right.
oh, can you take this down or
But it's
report
probably
it to the
fruitless
website.
and wasted energy.
Yeah.
Better making art.
Yeah.
As far as people you've met, who kind of inspires you that's in your same niche?
My same niche.
Or even outside the niche?
Yeah. Well, a lot of my friends are like illustrators too, and that's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're so like creative. This is great, and it's nice having that like creative energy, like like the
Yeah, you have a community
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it kind
yeah.
of feeds
You
on
can, like,
itself.
bounce your ideas off others and like
Did you meet these friends in college?
yeah,
Yeah.
college and also like from like vending at events
Okay.
and stuff. I feel like there's not like one person I can be like,
I'm so
you."
inspired
I was like,
by
everyone's so
them.
good. I like
Yeah.
what they do, and it's like very like, it's like
What about anime? Because
Anime?
you referenced. I just started getting into
Uh-huh.
anime. It's partly because my girlfriend has been
Welcome.
introducing. I know, and like it's very strange.
yeah.
The first one that I watched was Oran High School Host Club,
Oh yeah.
which I enjoyed immensely.
Yeah.
And then I watched Dorada,
Mhm.
which was kind of more my vibe.
Yeah, cool.
But what kind of anime do you like, and what kind of inspires you?
I think, well, I started off like with Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And so it's just like
Yeah.
cute little like animals and critters and stuff. And then also like Sailor Moon, which is like Magic Girl. And then
Right.
from there, it's like they had that whole genre of like, what's it called? Like, oh, I don't remember the name, but it's like just like girly anime. It's just like,
Okay.
oh, I really like lovey, like sparkles and stuff. And I think
Nice.
now you just see like in my art, just like sparkle lines and like
Got
stuff
it.
like
So you
that.
hit the sparkly,
Yeah,
like,
it's
girly
like
anime.
very cute, and then from there, it's just like I think there's an anime called like Madoka, which like started off cute, and then it was just like very like it's like, oh, Magic Girl's dying, and you're like, oh, dark
This is
anime.
so emotional.
So I was like, oh, it's not on brand, but it's great.
Yeah.
But it did start off with like manga. There's a manga called Azumanga Daioh, and it's just like a 4-panel comic, but they're very like simple, like basic, like everyday life kind of. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I just really like everyday like slice of life.
Slice
like,
of life stuff.
Anime, yeah, it's very like relatable, and I used to back in Tumblr like make comics of like just like everyday. Like random like things that have happened. I haven't done it in a while. I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of
I should go
it.
back.
Yeah, but it's just like things that are relatable, I guess, are fun too.
fun to draw.
Yeah, draw and read and watch.
I've been interviewing a handful of illustrators, and so many of them are inspired by anime and just like drawing cute things.
Yeah.
And part of it seems to be the internet is so hungry for cute things all the time, which puts you and people in your sphere in a good position. Yeah, because all you have to do is just produce more cute stuff. What, like with all these people who are maybe trying to do what you do, what would be your advice to them for anyone who's trying to like run a business on their own?
I guess if you want to.
It's a big question.
It's like, oh, if you like cute things. I know there's like, it's like very saturated, like, it's like, oh, dot eyes, like, it's like, how many ways can you draw dot eyes and stuff?
Right.
It's like, as long as you can like find your style and then find like your what message and stuff you want to like bring across through your like brand and stuff.
Right.
Then I guess that's like a good starting point, you know? Like, oh, you want to stay you, but you also want to like do something that you love. Like, don't force yourself to like, oh, I'm gonna draw realism, or bring in things that you're not comfortable with yet. Like,
right, it's kind of holding the mirror up and asking what is my brand.
Yeah.
which is kind of gross because you have to like start thinking about yourself as a business.
Yeah.
How much do you think about like branding and marketing?
Branding?
Yeah.
I guess I've always had like my color scheme, so I was just like, oh, I'll just keep this going.
It was kind of emergent.
Yeah, I don't have like a brand guide or anything yet, but I just do like, oh, this looks cute. I like yellow. I think because I like yellow, it's like
it seems like very, first and foremost, your message is here are cute things.
Yeah, like oh, cute things. I like this. Do you like
which
it?
Which is a huge blanket, like catch-all. I know that Cheyenne Barton, her branding is almost cozy.
Yeah, it's very cozy.
Which she does really well. Which is kind of offshooting from cute. And then just if I can look off camera, Jordan, like if you were to think about branding, what do you think yours would be? Because yours is like kind of refined almost.
Yeah, kind of flowery.
Like flowery is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's wild, is that it's all distilled down to one word as far as what you're producing. And I think that's really interesting to me because a lot of people seem to lack that focus and they need to figure out what exactly their brand is.
I guess it also just like, it's okay if you like start slow and like figure out like who you are, because like it's like really growing up. It's like sometimes you like dabble in this and dabble in this, but eventually you'll like come to a place where you're like, oh, I really like doing this, and you know my style might change in like a few years too.
Right.
You know, so it's like you also want to have your brand, but also don't want to limit yourself as an artist and stuff. Like,
right.
Oh, I can only stay like this. I can only use squares. It's like, well, like eventually, like you'll change, but like, and then your audience, you know, you think about them too. You're like, will they still like me? And it's like, well, if they like your art, they'll follow you wherever you go.
Right.
There's always gonna be someone that like leaves the group. You know, it's like, oh, it's not what I like. But it's like you shouldn't let that like bring you down, because it's like, oh, I'm doing what I like.
It seems like you have a very relaxed approach to this.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to stress. I have too many stresses in my life.
Right. That's great, because a lot of people are stressed about it because it's their livelihood.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure they don't lose followers.
Yeah, because like the world of like social media is like, I want to be seen. And it's like it's great for your brand to be seen, but it's also don't
like
think
hold
too
too
hard.
much.
Yeah.
So the number one priority, it seems, is just find your people.
Yeah, find your people. Have fun with them.
Right.
Have fun with yourself.
And how old are you?
30.
You're 30? Nice. Where do you think it's gonna head next? What are your hopes for your shop?
I think like I don't know. I was thinking about this too. It's like it would be nice having like a retail space or like a studio space where I can like make things and like or like I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Or just like having a space in a retail store where they like sell my things. Like I do have things in like wholesale and stuff right now. That'd be nice to have like a bigger section or like anything like that.
Where are you selling wholesale to?
I have some in Momo down in Chinatown.
Okay, cool. Did you reach out to them?
Oh, they reached out to me.
That's
like,
so cool.
Yeah, a lot of these places they like reached out to me, but it's mostly through like networking. Like an old coworker knew these like shop owners,
Yeah, we have 5 minutes. We're
Okay.
good.
like shop owners, and so she would reach out to them to reach out to me. And so yeah, it's really cool.
So you imagine like potentially having a retail space.
That'd be cool.
That's big.
Yeah, but I'm also like personally myself like learning to like give off some parts of the company for like say like employees, like thinking about employees. I'm like
Yeah, that's
you know?
super stressful. Like hiring more help.
Yeah,
Do you think that's something you'd ever do?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe in like a couple years it'll get to a point where it's like, oh, I need help with the packaging or like
Yeah.
anything like that. Like
And in preparation to that, do you just have to do a bunch of research? Or are you asking someone for like advice?
yeah, there's like some like Facebook groups for like artist alleys and stuff, and
Okay.
there are people that range from like, oh, we're just starting out, or people that have had their like businesses and like have been tabling for like years, and it's nice having that community to like I'm gonna ask this question, can you help me? And like
Yeah.
some people are very like, I don't help you, it's trade secret. Other people are very like, yay, like
Yeah.
we'll help you.
Who's keeping the trade secrets?
I don't know. I guess it's mostly like people that want to keep their like vendors and stuff.
Mhm.
Similar to like companies in general. It's like, oh, we're not gonna tell you who our vendor is in case they
Got
like
it.
get flooded, and then
Yeah.
our like quality goes down.
Man, that's yeah. Thinking about hiring other people stresses me out, just because you're involving people into kind of your child project.
Yeah.
But it seems necessary once you hit a certain
point.
volume.
Yeah, similar to like Pusheen, you know, she started off
Uh-huh.
or the artist started off on Tumblr, like making webcomics,
Yeah.
and now she's like blown up, and like she probably has like a company like helping her like that
Yeah.
marketing business.
To wrap up, you just came back from Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is rad. Like, how often are you doing conventions, and where are you going for these?
So it started off mostly like local, and then
Mhm.
like I think there's one big convention that we used to go to a lot in California, and I think from there it's just like, oh, we can travel to things, and there's
Right.
just like there's
So you can
many,
just
like,
research
yeah,
lists.
you just research. Right now it's like they're very like lottery based, and so it's like sometimes you might not get it this year,
Got
sometimes
it.
you'll get it next year. So right now it's just like, oh, scrambling to like just apply to anywhere and see like
Right.
how things go, but also researching if it's a good con to like invest your
Be
time.
at.
Yeah.
Man, and how much is a booth space?
It
Usually.
ranges from like 125 to, I would say like the median's like 125 through 300,
Mhm.
but then like some of the super big cons are like 500 for a booth.
Right.
And it's sometimes if you can't get into the artist alley, you'll try to like get into the exhibitor booth, which can like range from 7 to 1,000. But I only
Right.
did those with friends. I was
Right.
like, I gotta do it
Team
myself.
up.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. I'm impressed at how relaxed you are, because you're doing a tremendous amount of stuff,
Oh,
and it
thanks.
seems like you are keeping your mental health together, because it can
It's
be
like
stressful
mental
for
health-
other folks.
Mental health is good.
Yeah, it is. It's necessary. So that concludes it. Thanks for joining us this week on The Orbit.